It's true, Batsy. I know everything. And behind all the sturm and the batarangs, you're just a little boy in a podcast crying for mommy and daddy. It'd be funny if it weren't so pathetic. What the heck? I'll listen anyway to this episode of the Retro Rewind Podcast.
Reflux capacitor fluxing crew to stations. Scanning for Batman Beyond. Return of the Joker 2000. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind Podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the master Batarang Interrupter Powers.
I'm very happy to be here because I'm Batman.
Also, for this discussion of the film Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, we welcome aboard a full crew complement. First, we are glad to have, for the first time, he's a musician, singer, puppeteer, and Christian music producer, Stephen Forrester. Welcome, Stephen.
Why, thank you.
You're
I was trying to think of something clever trying to think of a clever introduction, and it did not come. So
no worries. You gave us a great introduction with that voiceover, so thank you. Along with Stephen, we welcome back pastor and co-creator of Geek Devotions, clergy officer Dallas Mora.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, Dallas? And filling out this Bat team, we once again have Terminator of Pests and Lover of Burgers, Wardale Dale White. Welcome, Dale.
Sup? Hey.
Sup? And Dale, this is actually your third time on the pod. Do you know what that means?
Woohoo!
I wouldn't know. Tell me.
Okay.
You have to pay taxes now. Extra.
Well, no. It means you are now
it's the third time on the pod in one day. That's kind of a scary thing.
Wow. It means
check that out.
You are now an official member of the crew with the rank of shipman. So congratulations. What department would you like to serve in, Dale?
Hey, I'm new to this thing, so tell me.
Okay, how about, well, we have,
You're the garbage cleanup. That's
wow. Sanitation, you're regulating Dale to sanitation. Nice. How about,
well, if
work
he
in the
said he doesn't
room?
know, nobody wants that.
You gotta give gosh. Engine room, you could work with Dallas and the clergy. You could work, you could be technology ops, you could be tactics. There's lots. Just think of the things on a boat you would like to work in. Where would that be?
Crow's nest.
Hey,
Mop the poop deck.
I don't know.
Mop the poop deck. There you go.
The exterminator.
Department.
I think I'm above that, but
well, you like burgers. You want to be the cook?
Oh yeah, we could use that. We could always use more cooks.
well, I don't think you want my burgers. So.
Oh, great.
We're gonna
All
die.
right.
We'll
To be
figure it out.
determined.
We'll figure it out. But congratulations on your promotion, Dale. So glad to have you as an official member of the crew.
I'm just glad y'all let me come back here.
Of course, it's awesome having you back. And now
you're
that
stuck here because you have a rank.
exactly, you can never leave.
As long as I'm not rank. You know, okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying there. No, you just have a rank. And now that you all have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker?
Sure. Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker was first released December 12th, 2000.
In the year
For an,
2000.
Yeah, for the edited cut. It runs an hour and 16 minutes. Wait, no, it's not rated PG-13, the one that was released in 2000.
I did the IMDb one, so what do you want from me? This is what it gave me.
I expect accurate details that I'm giving people. I don't mean to be a liar. Sorry, people. It was directed by Kurt Gita, if that's how you pronounce his last name. And it was written by Paul Dini, Glenn Murakami. Why do you give me these names? And Bruce
Why do
Timm.
these people make these movies that have hard names? Why can't you get John Smith writing a
I'm
movie?
not against
Jeez.
people with weird names making movies. I'm against you making me pronounce them.
Well,
With lead
on that Kurt, it's
You
Kurt
can't read.
Jetta.
Oh, it is Kurt Jetta.
Oh,
Okay, thank
Kurt
you, Jetta.
Jetta. All right.
You can't read
Like a
exactly.
Jedi, but with the Jetta, maybe the female version. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
With lead stars being Will Friedle, Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, and music was composed by Christopher Carter. Are you ready for the box office trivia game?
I think I'm ready. Dale, Dallas, and Steven. Steven's ready. Dale and Dallas.
All right.
Let's go.
There was a
Chat.
box office.
And
All
chat.
right. Unfortunately,
Oh.
this movie was not released in box office. It was direct to video. And even then, the budget for Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, nor its profits can be substantiated since precise records were not kept after Tannen shot a newspaper editor who printed an unfavorable story about him in 1884.
I hate when that
So
happens.
no box office trivia game this time.
Well, and we were all ready too. Man.
Dang,
Jeez.
get my hopes up, bro.
Well, thank you
Well,
for.
talk about getting our hopes dashed. Let's talk about this movie.
Whoa. Well, we're not quite there yet, Paul.
Foreshadow.
First, we have to. I mean, we're gonna have our mind meld. Then we're gonna have our roundtable discussion, going into likes and dislikes.
All right. We're not there yet. Okay.
But we'll get into all that once Alice says, "Locate our target film."
Alert! Alert! Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
Coming to video, the first ever full-length Batman Beyond movie. In this battle, evil has many faces. But only one is capable of turning Gotham inside out. The Joker is back.
Things are going to start popping.
And this time, Batman will face him alone in a clash that can only be seen in this full-length movie.
Let's dance.
Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Coming Tuesday to video cassette and DVD.
But is he really doing it alone? It almost sounds like that TV spot was deceptive. Oh, speaking of deception, let's get into our memory mind meld synopsis for Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
All right.
So when we combined all our memories, here's what we came up with. I think I remember thinking the movie was bizarre because it's the future, and Terry McGinnis is semi-studly teenage boy who has taken up the role of Batman under the tutelage of legendary billionaire Bruce Wayne, who spends his time not talking to any of the people who used to matter to him during days as Batman. Terry is out on patrol as usual, dealing with a series of jokers and our other hoodlums, but things begin to go off base. Somehow, Luke Skywalker, the Joker, is alive again, even after seeing Tim Drake kill him in the flashback. So Bruce is suspect and goes to Barbara looking for more answers and finds out if he can get all the old people in the movie to stop being bitter at each other. Turns out Al from Quantum Leap is the Joker, and Terry McGinnis taunts him, unlike Bruce, who never did. Yeah,
It's not far off.
except I think some of it was decepted. And based on those memories, it's totally flawed. I mean, it's like a different movie. What rating did they lead you to predict before you rewatch this movie? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with Steven. What was your prediction for Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker?
My prediction was classic with an asterisk,
Classic with an asterisk.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, do you want to elaborate?
This came out just before I turned 11 years old, so I was a prime candidate for this. Loved it. One of my favorite movies as a kid, and I watched it so many times I still remembered like half the dialogue, remembered a lot about it. However, I have recently gone and watched a few other movies from my childhood and realized I did not have very discerning tastes back then. So I was a little bit, I was the worst, the most egregious bummer being Inspector Gadget, and I watched that and thought, "Ugh." So I was a little bit worried that this would happen here, but it turned out all right. So,
All right, fair enough. Dale, what was your prediction for this film?
This is the second time I've ever seen this particular movie, and I was predicting nostalgic.
Nostalgic, fair enough. Dallas, how about you?
I was predicting classic, also with an asterisk.
Okay, what was your asterisk?
I have a nostalgic soft spot for anything Batman related. So it already goes, it's Batman. But I also have the understanding that not all things Batman are created equal. So
Gotcha. All right.
because I'm
So is
Batman.
Do you think this beforehand? Were you thinking it might be on the higher end or the lower end of not being equal?
lower.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. And Paul, what was your prediction?
I predicted nostalgic with an asterisk.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
It was about 20 years ago since I last saw this, and I only
Okay.
saw it a couple times, and I didn't have any positive memories nor negative memories.
Okay.
So I shot down the middle.
Got it. For me, I remember enjoying it. I mean, I have the DVD even, and it was. I always remember loving Batman Beyond, so I predicted classic. But like Paul, it had been like, it may be close to 20 years since I've seen it. Maybe, well, yeah, I guess it might be. So so those ratings were sort of all over the board. No tragics, but lots of asterisks, which I'm not sure what to make of that. But it'll be interesting to see.
We'll find out in the end.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into our discussion of the things we liked most about Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Let's spin up our
Best 3.
but best 2 this time. And let's start with our newest guest, Steven. What's one thing you liked about Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker?
One thing I liked. Oh gosh, if the listeners can only see my page of notes, if I
looks
had
like
to
a
cull it down to
manuscript.
let well, this is a very thick notepad. There's only one page of notes.
Oh, okay, okay.
So my non-classic, my second favorite thing probably would be the humor. Honestly,
Oh.
there were a lot of funny things. The entire kitchen sequence, Mom, there's a stranger at our table. You know, that whole scene was hilarious to me. There were jokes from the Joker himself.
Yeah.
Terry McGinnis with the flagpole thing. I thought that was funny. The flagpole. There was that. There were so many cute things. It's a school night, boys and girls. I need to call your folks.
Yes, yes.
And then one of my favorites was "Shut Up, Grandma Harley." That was kind of a surprise to me.
Yes.
That was a good one.
So, but yeah, honest, and I loved how it's a fairly dark movie, as most Batman things are, but the humor always seemed appropriate and was funny, but it never took away from the fact that this is a dark Batman movie. you
That's
know?
a good point.
It always,
Yeah.
yeah, I liked that the humor worked so well, I guess.
Yeah, and that's something. It didn't make my like list, but I've always enjoyed Terry McGinnis as Batman Beyond. Like when I first heard about the show coming out, I was like, Batman Beyond, why the future? But
Why they have a new Batman?
giving it, yeah, exactly, Paul. But giving it a chance,
I was there. Yeah.
I really like Terry. I like his quick wit. I love his like him being the almost like the funny to Bruce's very, very straight brooding man. So yeah, I really like that dynamic. Dale, was the humor something that made your like list, or was it one of the characters?
Well, somewhat, but I like the actors. Mark Hamill,
Yes.
Kevin Conroy.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about Batman, we highlight Mark Hamill and Conroy greatly. They deserve it. They are, to us, when it comes to the animated, they're the Batman and the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
when it comes to Batman Beyond, Will Friedle needs to get some of that praise.
Oh,
Is
yes.
that how his name is
totally.
officially pronounced? I could never get his pronunciation right.
I always-
Friedel? Is that-
That's how I've always pronounced it.
I've always
I thought so,
pronounced
but I
it
wasn't sure.
Friedel, but what do I know?
I like that one.
Either way, I think he made that role his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I especially loved it in this movie, especially toward the end when he's taunting the Joker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. That was very well
mhm.
written.
Steven was
Yes.
talking about the humor.
Mhm.
You could how he's taunting the Joker. You could see that. I wasn't like on the floor laughing, but I was just about there. I just loved that voice. And
Awesome.
and then of course obviously Mark Hamill, he's legendary,
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like in this movie though, he was kind of like what Frank Langella was with Skeletor and Masters of the Universe.
Oh, very hamming it up.
Not but except for he wasn't over the top. He was just
Right.
Mm-hmm.
just
he had a lot of fun with it.
Yes, absolutely. And Bobo in chat says Fredel is how he thinks it's pronounced. So I don't want to, I think Bobo. I want to precisely, this is how it's done. Jeez.
Well, get Willie on the phone and let's ask him.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Somebody call Warner Brothers.
But awesome, Dale. Yeah, the characters, were there any others that stood out to you, or is mainly like, yeah, Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, but also Will Friedle?
In my humble opinion, whether it's live action or animated, Kevin Conroy is the best Batman ever.
Yes, I really like
just
him.
me.
What were you going to say, Dale?
These days, doesn't Tara Strong do the Harley Quinn?
I don't know. Who
It
does
rotates depending on the movie or the TV show.
Because back then, Arlene Sorkin was the Harley Quinn, and I loved hearing her. I like that little bit Steve was talking about earlier, but at the finale there, you captured Grandma Harley, taking the twins out of the jail and everything.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
It's definitely nice hearing her, not only that, but also in the flashback scene, hearing her, because she's, I mean, I believe I remember correctly that she was a character created specifically for the animated series. So it's nice having her having such a, being a fan favorite and coming back to this where she normally wouldn't have. Dallas, what was something that you really enjoyed about this TV movie?
Yeah, for me, what I enjoyed about it was the fact that Terry was his own Batman. I appreciated that, like, they differentiated between him and Bruce Wayne. I'm always a fan of the Bruce Wayne Batman, but Terry brings a level of edge, which I think was a point of the show. I mean, the whole show was just we're edgy. That's why we have Static X in our background and stuff.
Yeah,
as the angsty kid.
Yes,
might have been part of my goth stage for some reason. But anyways, but I like the fact that Terry was his own Batman, even to the point like they played on that at the end of the movie where he's mocking the Joker. He's going after it, and they kind of they highlight that even with the flashback, because Bruce is like, he's not talking, he's angry, he's jacked up Tim, but he's still not talking, whereas Terry, he's mocking him and he's calling him out.
Exactly Very, very cool. Paul, does that have anything to do with your like?
Well, one of my likes is what people have called out. My favorite moment is when you think Harley has probably died, but then she shows up at the end.
Yes.
That was my but I really love it when a movie starts off with a lot of action. And this one with the bank robbery gets the ball going right away. I love it.
Paul, why you gotta copy me? That was my first like. I just adored how this was. I call it sort of the James Bond opening. Even though I haven't seen a lot of James Bond movies, I know that that's sort of the thing that James Bond did, is that you start off with like a big action set piece to get the ball rolling, then you go into the opening credits, then you sort of start the main story. But I really like that. Just got right into it. And in that way, and like lots of fun lines, like Stephen alluded to, and just the characters of Terry that both Dallas and Dale liked. I really liked how they did the opening. Let's see. So then with that, guys, I guess it's time to get into our classic makers, and I'm gonna. The opening sort of leads right into my classic maker, so I'm just gonna go just power through, like Bruce said. And it's the animation, especially of all the VFX, like the explosions and the lasers and the fire. It was just so beautiful to my eyes in this film. Especially, it didn't seem like a movie, like a TV movie, deserved the level of detail and motion and animation that this got with that. But it was just delightful to see. I loved it so much.
It seemed like a very nice, gentle update to Batman the Animated Series, style-wise, detail-wise. Like, if you liked that, you probably would like this. And then when they did the flashback, it transitions so beautifully. It was so much more detailed.
Absolutely.
Just updated.
Absolutely. Let's see. So let's see.
Dang it, Francisco! Why you got to take mine? 'Cause that was my classic maker. It's actually the animation.
Maybe we don't need a host and a guest host. We just one of us will just take turns. Yeah, okay. No, that's
but not so much like the flashy lights. That's pretty kind of stuff. But it was the dynamic action and movements.
Yes.
And I know like I could tell this wasn't 24 frames a second as like some feature length.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay, I couldn't
animated
tell
movies are. It's not as fluid, but the poses and the action. There's a lot of movements, and I really appreciate that. Like even in the background, a lot of times they're even in TV movies and such, and in especially animation, you have very stiff moving. Like at the dance party, everyone was moving and dancing in all the scenes, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, probably the thing that surprised me the most on that was when Batman and Joker are fighting at the end, and Joker initially is beating the snot out of him. That looked very good.
Yeah.
Fluid fighting, very well coordinated.
The action in this is spectacular.
It's really on point.
Am I wrong, guys, that in the cartoons, they were a lot of the hits and the actual like violence was they would either like cut away from it or like cover it with like a I don't know, a white flash. They would often do
like a flash, a flash, like a frame that was just like white.
Okay.
Because a lot of the connection things they couldn't show directly.
Okay.
Because they were, because of the TV censors.
I was wondering where those went. I remembered those.
Yeah. So I love being able to actually see the actual like the contact and stuff because I love violence.
Version, in the cut version, they cut a lot of those out.
Oh, okay, interesting. Because I only watched like one. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the cut version now since we got on topic. And if this makes the classic maker for any of you guys, I'd be very interested. For those that aren't aware, for the longest time, I only saw the cut version, which essentially the key difference between that and Paul, you watched a whole video about this, so you can say more. But the key difference between the two versions is the way that Joker dies, the way that Tim Drake, Robin, kills Joker. In the cut version, it's almost like Joker falls on his own sword, and that the Joker
Tim pushes him
back into this like the Frankenstein lab thing. He breaks a big thing of water and then throws his hand on an electrical switch accidentally and electrocutes himself. But in the uncut version, Tim actually shoots Joker with the bang I don't know what nail gun thing that he has, and it actually connects with Joker in the chest, and he dies that way. The funny thing is, if you watch the uncut version, in the cut version, Tim throws the gun away, but then when it's back to the cut of where it's the same movie, regardless of which cut, the gun is right in front of him. So it's just a funny inconsistency that's like, why is the gun not thrown away? But it's because in the actual cut, the real one, he shot him. Regardless.
So interesting
you have solved so much for me. I didn't mean to interrupt. It's just I was so confused when I watched the movie again because I'm like, I thought I remembered him being electrocuted.
Exactly.
And I dropped my teeth when I saw that he shot him.
Yeah. I was very confused as well. Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. Interesting to note why they did this. This came out in the year 2000, and it was the year before that the Columbine shooting happened. And so they were about to release this, and then they had the original uncut version that they were about to release, but they decided to go back and cut it up and reanimate a couple of the scenes that it wouldn't be as quote unquote hardcore because of the violence in that. So a lot of people found out about this, and there was a lot of demand. So Warner Brothers actually 2 years later released the uncut version straight to video.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, very cool. Thank you for that trivia, Paul.
My life is complete now.
But we're not to trivia
yet. Paul's here for.
Let's go to Dallas next for your classic maker. The thing you loved most.
It's gonna sound like a broken record. The animation really is on.
All right, moving on to Dale.
You are not wrong, sir.
I know, right? I'll alter it a little bit though, and that is that. So this Batman is almost a direct sequel of the New Adventures of Batman.
Oh,
which
really? Okay.
I hated the art.
It was different than the original Batman animated series, the character design, right?
The original Batman was there was more gothic to Gotham. and there was more detail. There was some darker stuff. And then you get to the New Adventures, and Dale was talking with me about it, that was a switch over with the WB, and they were trying to like, we're bright and friendly. And so they changed all the character designs, and it bothered me because it just wasn't the same feel. This, I feel like they try to bring a little bit more balance into the entire franchise as a whole, Batman Beyond, but they brought back that grittiness and that gothicness of Gotham, and so I appreciated that quite a bit.
Absolutely. Dale, how about you? What was your classic maker? Was it the animation as well, or something else?
Mine regards the music.
Ooh, yes. Okay.
Not just because of Christopher Carter. If I got the name right.
I think that's right. I'll double check, but go ahead.
Don't ask me. I mispronounce names.
Wow. Yes, Christopher Carter.
We us city boys down here in Shreveport got a local connection to the music.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah. If you look at the credits, credits, you'll see a name called Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Yeah.
He's a Shreveport boy,
Oh, cool.
Okay.
and he's
good old Kenny. Yeah.
and he's the guitar player that you hear
Oh, nice.
throughout
At
the
the
music.
beginning. Yes.
Oh, he shreds it.
Yes.
So to me, I just thought that was cool,
Mm-hmm.
and not just because he's a Shreveport boy, but when you watch Lethal Weapon, and you hear Michael Kamen's music, you can also hear, obviously you hear Eric Clapton's guitar play throughout the parts of the movie, and that's like classic. And then in Twister, you can hear Van Halen's. There's a kind of deal, and so in this movie, I like how he melds the old Shirley Walker music from the classic series. At least in my ears, I'm hearing this.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
not familiar, but okay.
And melds it with his own thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you add the Kenny Wayne Shepherd thing, and it just
Gold.
there you go. And I just thought solid gold right there. So that's my classic maker.
Yeah, I can.
Nice.
And being that they have a Shreveport boy behind it makes it classic.
All the better. Icing on the
Gotta
cake.
support the team.
It kind of trips me out actually because Celeste and I watched the special features,
Uh-huh.
and they actually did a whole thing. They were talking about it with them and everything.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, man, what is he doing now? So I looked him up, and I looked up his Wikipedia page. This dude went to school with my cousin.
Whoa, crazy.
Like, holy crap! He actually graduated from my high school. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
So if you call your cousin, it's like the same thing, right?
yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
What does that make
Exact
us?
same
I heard that.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I heard that there were elements of like the theme music of Batman the Animated Series blended in with a little bit of Batman Beyond and a little bit of modern guitar, and I thought I heard that at several points. And
okay.
I like that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed the guitar, how that added to the overall, just the theme from the series. I guess I wasn't tuned into it throughout the whole thing. I mainly just heard it at the beginning and the end with the main theme, but yeah, the music was great for sure. That then leaves Steven. What was the thing you loved most about Batman Beyond? Return of the Joker.
I had to finish chewing a cookie before I got back to the microphone.
Those
All right,
grasshoppers are great.
Oh, they're fantastic.
want
Second
cookies.
only to Girl Scout cookies. My word. Yeah. All right. Culling this thing down to my classic was hard. If I had to pick one thing, I guess it would be. I'm kind of deciding between two of them right here. I guess it had to be the plot. I really, really, really loved the writing. Specifically within the plot, I loved that there were several big shocks.
Yeah.
Like big surprising what just happened there moments.
Yes.
Right.
One of them being and I remembered this because I had seen it so many times as a kid, but the first time I saw Tim Drake morph into the Joker, like, whoa, that one really got me.
I will agree that was shocking.
Right? Oh my goodness. And so creepy. He's so creepy as the kid Joker. Oh my goodness. Or Junior, give
No, I'm
mommy
talking
her
about
present.
old
The
Tim
old
Drake. But
guy.
yeah, that too. Yeah,
Oh,
old Tim Drake turning the Joker. That's-
okay.
like a Jekyll and Hyde moment there.
Yeah, I mean,
Both
yeah,
are
that's what I meant. Yeah, of course.
No, that shock of the plot got me. There were so many different things I loved about the plot. The flashback scenes, just everything. But that shock, and then the other big shock being, again, because I had seen the edited version and remembered the electrocution, or thought I did, and I'm like, oh, maybe that was what you guys called incepted or decepted.
Yeah,
Decepted,
yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thinking I'm expecting the electric shock, and I'm like, did I remember this wrong as a kid? And oh my word, he shot him! Like,
Yeah.
and like is this a kids movie? And I'm checking the rating, like, oh, that is a PG-13. Okay, but the plot, and specifically within the plot, the big shockers really were probably my favorites.
Awesome. Yeah, I
Like, but the big shock was missing when Joker shocked himself.
yeah, right. Awesome, guys. Well, those were all excellent. I mean, I feel like we had a lot of similarities and things we liked. So I guess we can get on to the next. No, we can't get on to the next thing, unfortunately.
Oh, good. We're stuck in our likes.
Yeah.
There's some more.
Yeah, I have one more thing I liked. One more. POS TOS. He loves Star Trek, but he hates bad Star Trek. Matt McKinney, joined by off-screen Kim occasionally, and Drew Bax, the sociopathic Talaxian, take on Star Trek, Smallville, and whatever other shows might appear in his field of vision. You can find POS TOS on YouTube, just search under that title, or at www.pos-tos.com.
That's great, Francisco. But what does that have to do with Batman Beyond Return of the Joker?
I need to know his answer.
It's sci-fi, like Star Trek sci-fi. Also, Matt McKinney has covered Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, so that's kind of a connection, I guess, maybe.
And
That's connected as that electric chair that the Joker fell into.
Or didn't fall
into, exactly.
right.
What isn't you don't like that explanation, Paul? Fine.
No.
Fine, whatever. You know what? How about some trivia related to Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker? Would you like that
Yes,
instead?
that actually has to do with Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Yes, please.
All right, fine. So demanding. All right. So, did you all realize that the basic design for the orbital weapons platform, the one that's shooting down lasers from the sky that Joker controls,
The satellite.
Yeah, the satellite. It creates the beams of light. It was taken from 1988's Japanese animated film Akira, which we've covered on the podcast.
Oh, I can see that.
In fact, one of the directors of animation at Tokyo Movie Shinsa, which is where Batman Beyond was mostly animated, he was the actual animator of the scene in Akira when Canada was briefly chased by the beam from the orbital system Soul. It's called Soul in Akira. So when the scene of Terry being chased by the beam came up, this director snagged the storyboarding duties on for himself under the auspices of aiming to top himself. So that's just really cool that he worked. I'm going to do better than I did back in Akira. So
That's neat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Did he succeed?
well, maybe we'll find out here at the end of the episode. But my trivial question for you guys is there any piece of art, whether it's a drawing, music, YouTube video, whatever, however you want to classify art, that you would love to try to top? Like you release this like video.
Oh, we made the art and we want to make it better?
Exactly. Like, or you want to try to do something that's even tops it. Yeah, exactly. So
I once drew a stick man and I hope to make him round one day.
Okay. That's great, Paul.
Okay.
Is that your actual answer,
Way to aim
Paul?
high.
Just turn the paper around.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. Mind blown.
All right. Since you're not going to give me a straight answer, Paul, how about Dallas? Anything you would try to top?
Yeah. Not to get into selfless plugs, but the first episode of Geek Devotions, I love to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
The audio is terrible. It wasn't a bad episode. It's just it was an episode we had to slap together because the original recording we did, all the audio was bad, so I had to re-record quickly and then edit.
Oof.
So I would like to redo that one day.
All right. Nice. Well, Glix could take you back there. So
She could.
yeah. Actually, I don't know. Does she have time travel capabilities or just
Settle down, Alice. We're not to you yet.
It's the impossibility. It's in the improbability drive. So I mean, anything's
probably
improbable.
All right. Let's go to Steven. Anything you would want to try to top that you've done before?
It's funny you should ask. Being a musician, I do this routinely.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I've been traveling and singing for 13 years as of June.
Awesome.
And I've done a whole bunch of different recordings, solo and group, and there's nothing pre-2017 that I'm still proud of. And so starting in 2008, I don't even know how I had a career between 2008 and 2016. I'm like,
the Lord provides.
So he did. It was a miracle for sure. The Lord moves mysterious ways. So going forward, I have re-recorded some old songs that I've gone back and listened to. I'm like, that was a great song, and I butchered it. I need to go back and redo that the right way this time. So nice. I've done that several times. So that's always, as a musician, that's something you're always trying to do.
Nice.
So that cool. And because I'm also a preacher, I've looked back at some of my old sermon notes, and I'm like, that was the worst piece of garbage I've ever
made. My man. You need to preach that one.
Yeah.
He's sitting there going, sometimes I look back and go like, was I reading the Bible?
Jesus didn't die. What?
Either that. Yeah, I was either reading the Bible or the back of a recipe for Rice Krispie treats.
Wow.
What was that?
Either way, your life goes snap, crackle, pop.
Oh, my gosh. I was trying to come up with a pun, but you beat me to it, Paul. Well, that leaves, Paul also. But, Dale, what was your, what's something you would want to top? If you have anything.
I used to make greeting cards.
Oh, cool. I had no idea.
Well, I'm not in the habit of doing it anymore, because I used to hand draw.
Oh, nice.
And I like to get back into doing that.
Yeah.
Not so much using computers, but
just do it by hand. Very cool.
I did one for Dallas a while back, and it was on computers, not hand drawn.
That's awesome.
I used to says your love.
Yeah, that's great.
Aww.
Well, anyway, I used to do it for people at the church, and family members, and I loved and enjoy doing it. So that's one thing I would like to get back doing, as far as topping myself.
Yeah, very cool. And now, Paul, do you have an actual answer?
Not at this time. I'm gonna take a
mulligan.
Somebody had a to be determined. I'm gonna follow Dale's example of try to figure out his rank later. I'm gonna try to figure this art piece out later.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank
you. Before I get to that point, I want to ask you: is there a piece of art that you've done that you'd like to redo?
Fine. Well, very similar.
The Retro Rewind podcast.
The whole thing.
Redo the whole.
Let's just start tonight, guys. Episode 1, Superman 3. Let's go.
Superman 3. Here we go.
No, but speaking of podcasts, though, I probably would want to go back and redo episode 3 on Masters of the Universe, because it was just the audio on that one was just so bad. That's the one where
that was Dallas's answer.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not for our show.
Right, not number 1, but number 3. See, I copied his homework, but I changed the answer and made it different, so no one will know.
No one will know. But yeah, if you've ever gone back and tried to listen to all the episodes and you've gone to 3, my apologies. Not that anything was wrong with our hosts. I think it was Josh, your brother, and Sharon. I think
it might have been, yeah.
Sharon Jean.
But it was just, bad audio. Anyway, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome, Paul.
And this was great trivia. And I have the answer to our previous audience question, which again was, if you could have a door that took you to any time and place, where and when would it be? So many people entered the door, but no one came out because there were no responses. So, moving along to this episode's listener question. What is your favorite iteration of Batman?
Yeah, so do you like Batman Beyond? You could do like break up the Batmans. Like, isn't there like where the Bruce's dad is Batman?
Yes.
He called something
Flashpoint
else?
Batman.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Flashpoint.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just what is your favorite iteration of Batman? Send your answers to trivia@retrorewindpodcast.com by the time we record the next episode, which usually gives you a week and a couple days by the time you listen to the when this drops live. If you're in the audience live, you have even more time to send it. But now that we have all had some trivial fun, let's find out all the memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Drew Dodgen starts off by saying Robin's re-education. That's what you remember.
So that reminds me of the link that Dallas sent in our Discord,
Ooh.
Retro Rewind Podcast Discord, about the education. So
Oh my God.
I got lost on
Education.
that TikTok.
Wow.
But we don't have time to talk about that today. We're gonna. Stephanie Russell says when Joker got shot in the stinking chest.
Ah, yes. Which apparently she saw the uncut version. LJ Lowry says, I enjoyed the movie, but I remember the Game Boy Color game more. Played the heck out of it. Classic beat-em up action. That's so cool. I had no idea there was a game.
Yeah, there's a couple games based.
I had forgotten it until I saw that comment.
Oh,
and I was like,
nice.
oh, I love that game.
Very cool.
Check it out if you can.
Indeed.
Kevin Joshua Burnham says absolutely nothing. I never saw it.
He wouldn't.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's a true statement.
See, Kevin, you watch all the old movies, and we watch all the popcorn movies.
All the direct-to-video ones that don't come out in theaters.
Kevin's over here like, I watched the 1937 silent film Batman.
We're just trying to balance out the universe here, Kevin. Come on.
It's really interesting because Batman wasn't invented until the 50s. Yeah.
You just bring details into this, Steven. Thanks a lot.
No, it's 39.
Anyway,
38.
Jacob B. Heron says, fantastic film. Best Batman movie. Wow, that's fighting words right there.
Stephen Forrester. I don't know who this guy is.
like
but
I've
he
heard of
says,
him.
one of my favorite Batman movies as a child. Possibly my top favorite back then. I remembered many different things about the movie, including a great deal of well-written dialogue. The plot was amazing from start to finish, and I'm just glad I get to be part of the big review. You know, why don't you say this, Steven? Since you're right here.
I was just gonna say I don't know who that Stephen Forrester is, but I'm sure he's a handsome devil.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Handsome, wealthy, amazing. Yes.
Incredibly sexy. Yeah. All right.
Well, someone's got to be.
Someone's got,
burden, but
yeah,
somebody has to
exactly.
do it.
Someone's got to carry that cross. Reed Benson says,
Fall on that sword.
Reed Benson says, it was epic.
Oops.
I don't know if I'd even watched much of the show before the movie. I think the movie was the catalyst that got me even appreciate the concept of the show. I even went and ordered the soundtrack from a local CD store to get the Static X and Kenny Wayne Shepherd, just like you guys were talking about, songs that were on the film. Mark Hamill, Will Friedle, Kevin Conroy, Michael Rosenbaum was in this?
Yes,
Who is he?
He played Hal the
Howl of the Moving Castle. Wow, really, Paul?
No.
Oh,
He was
the
doing,
hyena guy?
Christopher Walken.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was a scarecrow.
Those that
Yeah.
don't know, Michael Rosenbaum, my favorite Lex Luthor. He played Lex Luthor in Smallville.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I
moving
wonder
on.
if he was purposely channeling.
He was
Walken.
also he also
Oh, absolutely.
he also voiced the Flash and Justice League.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, let's see.
I did not know that.
Melissa Joan Hart, Tara Strong, Arlene Sorkin, even Henry Rollins.
Frank Welker.
And Frank Welker. Well, yes,
Yes.
of course, Frank Welker. And I don't think who's the smoky voice, Law and Order, who's Commissioner
Angie
Gordon?
Harmon.
Angie Harmon. Yeah. He didn't mention her, but I'll just
There's
say,
a lot of good actors.
Yes, exactly. All the voice actors killed it, and the this is read it again. All the voice actors killed it, and the animation is theater worthy, I think. Yes, definitely. According to the DVD commentary, Mark Hamill actually said that he liked voicing the old Joker better because the new Joker was too subdued and creepy. My only qualm with it is that they didn't quite go far enough to show the physical toll some of the fighting took. All right. I'm thinking particularly of the fight scene between Batgirl and Harley Quinn. Oh, yeah. Which looks and sounds brutal, but at the end, neither of them is bleeding or really all that scuffed up. The punches couldn't have been that weak, could they? Other than that, classic.
Here's another bonus thing for the cut version or the edited version.
Oh, the
Batman
blood
and Joker both had blood.
Yeah, which you can see in this video.
I mean,
here.
the uncut had blood and
yeah.
So anyway, Aaron Hewley says it's a good one. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
And Ashley Cronenberger says, famous last words. That's not funny. I don't remember that. Which part?
That's when he dies. The Joker gets shot, and he goes, "That's not funny."
Oh,
falls over and
okay.
dies.
So here's the problem. I think I've only seen the uncut version once, and so that didn't stick with me. Okay,
Well,
yes.
you watched it this time. This is the most recent watch of it.
No, because I watched the cut version to see what was changed. So that's technically the most
you
recent.
Messed yourself up.
I did mess
Okay.
myself up. But she continues, an all-over excellent film with plenty of action, suspense, and full of surprises. Well, let's see if anything was surprising about the things we didn't like about this film. Let's spin up our...
Worst 3.
Or worst 2, as it were. So let's start with... I'm going to start with Paul this time. What's something you didn't like about Batman Beyond Return of the Joker?
Besides wondering why Batman doesn't use invisibility all the time.
Oh, good point.
Basically, there was this big laser coming down to destroy the Joker's hideout where they were fighting, and it's coming, and then they have this big, huge, long sequence, and it should have wiped them out like 5 or 10 times by the time the laser was supposed to actually get there. It's crazy. The timing on this, animation's all about timing. Where's the laser? The freaking lasers. You build that up and then you don't no, it was all handled all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, the timing of when the lasers were used was handled all wrong? Or...
No, the big satellite shoots a laser, destroys buildings, city blocks,
I
and
get
everything.
this, yes.
It's on, they show it and its trajectory and the speed it's approaching the Joker's hideout.
Oh, it should have gone there
and
faster.
it's going to get there like in less than 30 seconds.
Okay,
and then they go on and fight for 5 minutes in the hideout. It's like, no.
It's like Dragon Ball Z.
It's like
They're
cowboy
just been that
movies.
fast.
It's like cowboy movies that they didn't count the bullets; they just kept shooting.
Exactly. But
6-shooter fires 30 bullets.
I understand a ticking clock, but the clock stopped on this right at the climax. It's so infuriating.
Totally fair, Paul. Dallas, was the timing something that bothered you about this film?
No, but the laser did bother me because he's
really?
controlling the laser the entire time, but for some reason he has to destroy the roof at the end to activate the laser.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening here? Like, did your remote control go out? Is this like the equivalent of putting like some like aluminum foil on your antenna to get signal? Why did we destroy the roof this time? Well, you didn't have to the first like 20 times you're shooting people out of the sky.
So I remember, I didn't watch it this time, but I have seen this, or at least the cut version with commentary, and they even say, that's really weird how how this time it's destroyed, that why they didn't have to do this Joker didn't have to do this every time, but yeah, they mention it, but yeah, there's no explanation other than...
They should have just got rid of the laser. They didn't need that. It was way too, they raised the stakes way too high. That, now it's destroying the city. They could have done it without that and still had the psychological,
I could see
battle.
that. Yeah. But I mean, I like the laser, but that's fine, Paul. You don't have to like the laser. Let's see. Who else didn't like the laser? Maybe Steven.
No, that now that you've mentioned it and pointed out so gruesomely, that bothers me now. It didn't at the time. I had other unanswered questions that bother me.
One of us.
But okay, then what was something that you didn't like?
Okay, well, yeah, in my dislike, there were, and this is really reaching for me because I love the movie so much. So, trying to find something I didn't like. The movie left me with like 3 or maybe 4 unanswered questions that I couldn't figure out. The mystery was bugging me.
Okay.
Probably the most egregious one was if you look. Early in the fight, Terry McGinnis knocks the electric joy buzzer out of Joker's hand. It goes to the circuits, messes up the circuit trajectory, and then spins the laser toward them. And then at the end, he beats... Yeah, you know where I'm going, Paul. He defeats the Joker with the joy buzzer. However, when he's knocked down, he is knocked down toward the control console, but he's not an arm's length from it. He's at least a body length from it. So how the devil did he reach for that joy buzzer? And he probably had a 6 to 10 foot reach with a 3 foot arm. How did he do that? That bothered me.
I know there's no
Joker physics.
there's no bat belt or utility belt, but his whole suit does stuff. I'm sure he has like magnetism fingertips and just like made it come to him.
And it only attracts the buzzard around all that other metal object.
Exactly. Yeah. None of the other stuff in there. None at all.
Yeah.
That was probably the most egregious question. But,
Yeah.
Oh, another one. A question that was bothering me is, why does Terry and I get it that it's futuristic, so none of the cars have wheels. They're all flying.
Yes.
But why do the cars sometimes drive like cars? They're only 2 feet off the ground, so presumably there's some magnetism or something. And other times he flies like a plane.
Yeah.
Why is he sometimes observing the rules of the road and sometimes he's flying a plane? Why? What is? Because I'm Batman. Yes.
I want to say
that bothered me. Is this a car or a plane?
well, I feel like his Batmobile has less. It can fly. It's not just strictly hover, whereas most of the automobiles are probably just hover. But I'm not for sure about that.
But why would it then not be a plane all the time? I don't know.
I mean, I think it's kind of like the same physics as what takes place in Fifth Element, where there's rules to the road, and so you have to stay in the lane at certain points, but you can go off. It's just that you might get a ticket.
Oh, I know. When you're on the road, it charges your batteries, but when you go off the road, you're sort of on just your own battery. That's
Right,
it. Yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm sure.
Somebody called WB.
My last question was. These are all like my one dislike was 3 questions. My last question was, why did Tim go to see Barbara Gordon at the office?
Because
he wanted to introduce
Because he wanted to ask about the Joker?
yeah, because he saw the Joker on the TV.
In the early I'm sorry, not Tim. Tim Drake. Terry McGinnis goes to Barbara in the early part. He knows that she was Batgirl. He knows she's got some stories that she's not telling.
Yep.
She refuses to tell. As he's leaving, Tim Drake walks in.
Yeah.
They say hello, and then there's no development on why that happened later.
That's because that's his therapy appointment every week.
Yeah.
She's his therapist.
Maybe.
Okay.
That's
I'll
fair.
go with that.
Speaking of mysteries,
It was a nitpicky, but yeah.
well, speaking of mysteries, like questions that were unsolved, that's actually one of my dislikes, Stephen. And maybe you guys have an answer for it, but I get that because of the implant on Tim Drake, he would know that Bruce was Batman and all that. He'd know those secrets. But by the time Terry's come along, those secrets aren't known to this Joker. So how is it that that Joker knows to send the twins and Michael Rosenbaum and the hyena to the dance party when Terry's not in Batman Beyond garb? This happens before he's like storming the Batcave or anything. So how does he know to send him? How does the Joker know to send those?
Because Tim knows that basically anybody who works with Bruce is probably going to be a Robin.
Oh,
so it was a logical exception. Oh, you're with Bruce all the time. You must be the new Bats.
That I could see that. That's.
I was about to say both Joker and Tim knew that. So
plus he's meeting with Barbara.
Well, that seems like a
Oh.
timeline inconsistency to me, though, because early in the movie, because I hadn't seen this in about 15 or 16 years, early in the movie, I thought that I remembered that like Tim Drake kind of knew he was the Joker, like Jekyll knows Hyde kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't get that. But okay.
I thought so, but then later in the movie they say that's not the case.
Yeah,
right.
That Tim did not know he was the Joker.
Right.
He was obviously disturbed by the Joker. He saw the thing on TV and muted it, and he's sweating about it. So he's obviously still has the PTSD from it. But early in the movie, I thought, okay, Tim knows he's the Joker, so that would solve a lot of answers real quick as to like how he knew Terry or stuff like that. But then they disannul that later on.
Yeah.
So both the original Joker and the flashback, he knew that Bruce was Batman because he got the secrets divulged.
Right.
And then presumably he put that data in the chip on the neck.
Yeah.
So when new Joker comes in the future, he would know Bruce is Batman. He'd remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then unless you're going to say that since they were sharing body and brain space, that the new Joker could then pull things from Old Man Tim.
That was what he said.
Yeah, how would he know that Terry...
I mean, he said that in his monologue.
He did kind of say that.
He pulled information.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. I guess he did kind of say that, if his family misses him, I simply call wifey and tell. Yeah. So
and
I guess I guess they were sharing memories there.
And I think it also is a good deduction that if he's with him, if Terry's with him all the time, that makes sense. And there's a new Batman. It would be Terry. All right, fine.
Let's see.
Do the math.
Bruce Wayne is retired, and he has a new ward, and there's a new Batman. Let's put 2 and 2 together.
I'm now campaigning
Nah.
for the next Joker to be played by Austin Powers.
Oh my gosh.
Give me some freaking lasers.
I'm not a calculus teacher, but it seems like we can put that together.
Dale, what's something you didn't like before we get to our tragic makers?
I'm probably going to go a different direction.
Oh, awesome. Please do.
Like the laser?
No. They, I felt like there was some inconsistencies
Mhm.
in the animation of the Joker.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, I'm looking behind you,
Mhm.
the screen, and I see the Joker, and I'm like, how many teeth does he have?
All the teeth.
And
It's like a shark.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Shark, yeah.
I just feel like that there's certain, and now I know that's the flashback scene right
Yes,
there,
exactly.
but I'm like, there's certain parts or scenes in throughout the movie as you when he's falling down or he's making wild gestures that they're he's like one heck of an underbite, or his teeth is all, I don't know, I just felt like there some of the inconsistencies I was seeing was just kind of took me out of the flick for a while.
Okay. Interesting.
But that's just me. I like the anime. I like the style that we're going for. It was just there was something.
They weren't.
Some of his facial features that was kind of weird to me.
It felt like they were kind of bouncing back and forth between the new animated Batman or the New Adventures and the original one.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of having this weird fight of how they wanted to look like.
Yeah, they had an amalgam, and it was swaying back and forth in that
Mm-hmm.
middle space.
I honestly, the one that I'm showing here that's from the flashback scene, I love, of all the iterations of animated Joker, this is the one my favorite. But when he's in the future with like the slick back hair, I don't like how he looks. So it is
glowing
strange.
eyes.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, that's a great one, Dale. And I think that leads us right into our tragic makers. And to kick us off, let's start with Dallas. Okay, Paul. What is the thing you hated most about Batman Beyond: Return of the
thing
Joker?
that I hated most was the title intro.
Oh, after the bank robbery.
After the bank robbery, the title
Yeah.
intro. And
What did you hate about it?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Paul J. Powers.
I bet it was slow and boring.
Exactly. It was.
I thought it was
so
white text on black
boring.
background, but
It
okay.
added to the annoyance of it. Like, because the series itself, like, it's such an awesome intro. It was like, there's this great music that's pumping. There's like great sound effects and there's great visuals. This was so boring. Like, I wanted it to like go like, did I get a bootleg DVD or something like that? Like anything. I wanted to go and rip the intro out of my DVDs of the actual series and make a whole new DVD with a new intro because it was just so slow and boring. The white text, it wasn't necessarily white text on black background. It was glowy white text on black background.
Much better.
A little better.
Yeah, with some drop shadow to it.
Yeah. And then, but like, it was drawn out. And I mean, I get it. It's 2000, time frame, but by that point, they had better ways of doing all the title cards for everybody.
Yeah.
And to go from the bank robbery and all sort of stuff to just suddenly you got this drop. Like there was no continuation of the flow.
What?
Exactly.
Just stopped.
The needle was gone, man. So that is my tragic maker.
You totally stole my thunder, Dallas. Thanks a lot, because that's exactly my tragic maker as well.
Okay.
I mean, it seemed like all they had to do was take like little clips of the movie and sort of like as a foreshadow of what was going to happen, and just like reverse them out, make them like a negative, look like a negative or something, just fast motion, and even intercut things from the intro that they already had for the series, and it would have made the soundtrack, even the whole guitar thing, be so much better.
Versions of all the characters run across the bottom, and it would have been more interesting.
Well, that would
Or
have
if
been.
if you do an anime, they show all the spoilers in the intro as they're singing and another language.
Exactly. Do that. And because you don't know what's going to hit you. You don't know if you don't have context for it, then it's not really a spoiler so much, but
it is.
Okay, fine, Paul. But yeah, that is exactly mine. I do remember, again, from the commentary that they said I forget if they ran out of time or ran out of money, and that's why they couldn't do it. Both. That's why they couldn't do anything more for it.
From the show. Throw it in there.
I get it. I get it.
Microsoft Paint couldn't handle it.
Walk across the hallway to the guys next door.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give it to a 6-year-old. Come on.
Get the toys out. I'm going to get you, Rabbit.
Wow. Regardless, that was my tragic maker as well. Let's go next to Steven. So this was a childhood favorite of yours, but what was the thing you ultimately hated about it on this rewatch?
Okay, because I was sweating trying to decide, was my previous dislike about unanswered questions, was that my tragic maker, or is this next one? I guess just for the sake of conformity, I'll say it's this one, the opening credits. And what's hilarious... No, you're finding that funny. What's even funnier for me is I had never heard anybody complain about opening credits until I started listening to your show.
Oh, really?
The first person I heard say it... Yes. The first person I heard say it was Paul.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard Paul complain about opening credits, I thought he was an idiot. I'm like, who complains about opening credits? I'm like, that is such... Yeah, I'm like, that is such a nitpicky, stupid thing. But in this case, I agree with everything you guys have said. We had massive excitement, and they set this thing up for just rocket fuel amazement.
Exactly.
And then we had a crash and burn. That's probably the only time I've ever, during opening credits, been checking my phone. I looked up occasionally to see if there's a name I liked. Other than that, I'm just like, forget it. So
exactly.
And I thought of how you guys always complain about white text, black background, and it's like, oh, they spiced that up with a little bit of curvature to the letters and a drop shadow or something, and that was it. So
my point proven.
Exactly.
So Paul, I take back almost all the bad things I've been saying about you, almost all of them. So that is my tragic maker.
Awesome. Very good. Very good.
I'm sorry that your tragic maker is that you had to take back some of the things.
Oh my God, that's not what you were Paul.
Not all of them.
All right. So opening credits for Steven. So that makes 3. Dale, were the opening credits your tragic maker, or did something else break this movie for you?
Something else, but I'd like to mention something first.
Go for it.
And this is a stab to Warner Brothers. Maybe not the movie itself. But you got a movie that's full of blood and maybe some horrid stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that you wouldn't want a 5-year-old to look at.
Yeah.
But when the movie begins, here comes the Warner Brothers shield. And you got Bugs Bunny coming out of there.
Dun 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 dun.
And the Looney Tunes theme playing, and it seems to indicate here's a movie that your 5-year-old might enjoy.
Yeah.
And as you're going along, and about maybe 30 minutes later, you're pushing your child out of there, that 5-year-old out of there. Even
Bugs
yours.
Bunny isn't here yet.
Cut or uncut version.
Well, there is a scene where a Bugs Bunny cartoon in there, but
That's true.
Oh, yeah,
With
yeah.
the dog, yeah.
But again, that's for the Warner Brothers. It's 20 years ago. They may not do it no more, but that's my thing. My true tragic maker. Y'all said earlier that y'all like most of the actors at their roles. I'm like,
Oh.
I might be getting ready to incite a riot, but my
Careful.
I had a little problem with Angie Harmon. as Barbara
Come
Gordon.
on.
as the Commissioner Barbara Gordon?
That's
I like her
right.
way better than the other Commissioner Gordon.
I
voice,
enjoyed her
but-
smoky voice. I was like, oh, for once she looks like
I
her
don't know.
voice sounds.
For whatever the reason, every time she would speak, it felt like she was off.
Oh. Like out of sync almost?
I don't know. All I knew, now I watched it on HBO Max. And now everybody, Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, everybody was in their own groove. But when I would hear Harmon speak as Barbara, it just seemed off.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it just threw me.
Maybe it's from when she got healed from being paralyzed from the Joker, and now she's walking again. It also threw off her voice.
Maybe, perhaps.
Deep cut, Paul. My goodness.
Yeah.
But for me, watching the movie, it just that was my tragedy.
Wow.
Okay, that's
Totally throws you out of the movie.
And she has a significant role. I mean, she's not on it the whole time, but yeah, I could see how that'd be like almost like the opening credits
chunk of it.
is like just like and
I understand that during the series you had Stalker Channing voicing her, and perhaps they were going for that tone. But at the same time, for me, it disturbed me, or it didn't work for me.
I don't like it when the series has one voice and then they do a movie and it's a different voice.
Well, actually,
that definitely throws
they
things
changed it to her during the series run. I know it's not the original.
Oh, there
voice.
was a switch?
There was.
I don't like when they do that either.
Well, I don't either.
It's kind of like when they replaced Aunt Viv. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
There's a YouTube video about why that happened. I don't know how accurate it is, but Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, for those that are like, Aunt Viv, what does that have to do with Batman?
Well, I remember in the original Batman animated series, the Penguin was voiced by Paul Williams.
Yeah.
The singer, actor. If you're a Smokey and Bandit fan, he was Little Enos.
I thought it was Burgess Meredith.
That's
the 66
I know.
version.
I'm making it funny, guys. Jeez. I thought it was Danny DeVito.
Well, when you get to Batman, The Mystery of the Batwoman, he's voiced by David Eugene Stiers. He's, some of y'all may recognize him as the voice of the clock in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Clocksworth.
Or for me,
Or Cogsworth.
I'm nearly 50 years old. I remember him best as Charles Emerson Winchester III in MASH.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
But he voiced the Penguin in that movie.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, you can tell the difference. But it's just in Batman Beyond, I get that I can see that, I can hear that they were going for a tone. It was just off. And that's all I got.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see, and that actually, I guess, leaves me with that to ask Paul, what was the most off for you?
Okay. I'm sorry, but I definitely have a tragic maker.
Wow.
Okay. I was actually enjoying this movie about halfway through. This was a mystery. Who is the Joker? It's like a whodunit, and it's like, oh, they're actually gonna use Batman's detective skills, the greatest detective. Like, okay, I'm liking where this is going. Like, okay, if maybe it is Tim Drake, like at the beginning or towards the middle, like, oh, but then they go, they find him. He's a pudgy old guy that's like kind of cranky, and then like, oh, maybe it is the guy trying to take over, the guy who's trying to take over Wayne Enterprise, Jordan Price, because he has that build and everything,
in the same
like,
voice.
Maybe he's the Joker's son.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. But then I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to reason this out. Okay, it wouldn't be Tim Drake because that's a little too obvious, or no, not too obvious. It wouldn't be Jordan Price because that would be too obvious because he looks too much like it. So I'm thinking. Yeah. So I'm thinking there's, Ra's al Ghul with the Lazarus Pit or something, let's. But then I don't understand how people say this is well written, because you have a pudgy old guy who physically transforms to being this tall, skinny guy as the Joker. And he not only does his physique change somehow with a microchip. I don't care how far you are in the future. It's not going to do that. It's not going to change your vocal cords to sound exactly like the Joker. It wasn't like Tim Drake acting like the voice actor for Tim Drake trying to act like the Joker. That would make sense. If they wanted it, it would make sense if it was like a hologram projected and he had like a voice transmitter of something in the future, but to have it physically change, like it sounds, it's just wrong. You can't just take a character that is well formed at the beginning or in the middle of the movie and completely transform him and say, ta-da, he's the bad guy who doesn't look or sound exactly or anything like that. That's the big answer to the mystery. It freaking ruins the movie. I'm totally invested, and then you just throw that garbage of an answer at me. It just infuriates me. It makes me not want to watch because it doesn't make sense. I can't follow the logic, and I don't understand how people...
Well, even if you wanted to forgive several of those things, he got about 8 or 9 inches taller all of a
yes,
sudden. Like,
exactly. Yeah. I can understand like, okay, he was kind of hunched up. Okay, now he's standing straight up, but he has a lot of body fat and a lot of like his nose and chin completely are changed. It's almost like it feels like, okay, they had an answer like Ra's al Ghul or something, but because of A, B, and C, that wouldn't work. Okay, Jordan Price can't be the son of Joker because X, Y, and Z. Okay, what do we have? Tim Drake. Okay, he's the bad guy. Like at the end, it was kind of like switched and made it like that because it's such a weird like. What just happened? So, it doesn't make any sense.
So, Paul, would you say it's something like it makes you feel something like this?
I hated her so much.
The reveal? Yes.
Flames on the side of my face, breathing, heaving breaths.
Like that, just like that?
Exactly.
All right.
That I'm glad you said it because that bothered me too. Like the entire time, like I know the answer and I'm watching and I'm going, man, this isn't happening. Like this isn't like Celesta has no concept of what's happening. It was kind of cool watching it with somebody who's never seen it before.
Yeah, totally.
But I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Like the body doesn't work. And the one thing that I think they tried to cover it because they said that his DNA was also implanted into Tim. I'm like,
but it's someone.
What kind of weird magic are you doing though to make him like? All of a sudden, his chin goes from nice, thick, round to pointy. Yeah. And like he grows like 10 inches all of a sudden. I mean, it's just
his nose changes. And
Yeah.
It's a heck of a
he loses like
job.
60 pounds.
I think
even this is the world with splicing, and like again, that's another thing. This is a world where they have splicing.
Yeah.
Right.
This just seems too dramatic to me.
Right. I know Dale was mentioning he didn't like the Joker's transformation sometimes with his teeth. This transformation is just all wrong.
Yeah, I wish that it was. I like that it's Tim. I think that's a cool like reveal, but how it's Tim, I don't get. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense how his body.
Drawn Tim. Yeah.
It should have been Jason.
Yeah.
Jason.
Well, then you're getting into Hush territory, but no spoilers there.
The only two fixes I could think of that would have made it work better is A, draw old man Tim more physically like the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Or B, do sort of a I am Oz the Great and Powerful kind of thing where Paul mentioned have there be a body double or a hologram or some out front actor as the Joker, and really Tim is the Joker behind the Joker.
That would make more sense.
Work.
Yeah, I would like that.
Yeah.
And even if you then went with the microchip where his skin turned white, but he was still Tim's build, so it was like the Joker's mind. If it was the Joker's mind and the Joker's voice. Let's even forgive the voice. The Joker's mind and the Joker's voice
fine,
in
we'll
Tim's
forgive
body.
The voice. There's still too much to not forgive.
Well, we've got Mark Hamill. Come on. But yeah, either one of those solutions would have worked better. Yes.
Right.
So.
Well, I am
It's such a disappointment to the mystery that they had built up, which I thought was a great mystery.
Yeah, totally. Much better than another Batman film that was released in theaters, which was we won't talk about now.
Mask of the Phantasm.
I won't talk about it right now. Not going to talk about it.
Diss Mask of the Phantasm. I will fight you.
Oh,
yes. I will jump through this. I will jump through the podcast.
Want to talk how bad that movie was?
Yeah. You know what? Let's talk about how bad.
All right, let's go. I got another 2 hours. I have NOS in my system.
All right.
1.81. Forget that ratio. It's got to be at least 2.3.
Okay. All right. Let's.
You
know what?
Maybe next show.
Maybe, but you know what? We've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer for Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Let's not muddle the system up for Alice, and let's find out what our firing solution is.
Okay.
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
It's finally complete. That took a while.
Do we rate impatience? XO, geez. Do we rate Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not they've seen it before. It's definitely worth your time to watch. A nostalgic, if you remember enjoying it as a kid or young adult, or sometime in the past watching it and you liked it, then yeah, definitely it's worth your time to watch it again, revisit those memories. But if you've never seen it before, maybe go with one of the other DC animated movies or just another Batman film in general. Or is it a tragic? It's not worth anyone's time. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before and have fond memories, don't sully those memories with a rewatch. So let's start for our final ratings with the newest person here. Steven, what is you love this as a kid, it sounds like. What was your final rating, though, seeing it as an adult?
Yes, this was a top contender for Batman movies as a kid. I have to work hard to put my biases aside because I am a bit of a Batman fanboy. I don't really care which version, which actor, which generation of him. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
I love Batman.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so taking that filter off and watching it and thinking about it, I still really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And as an adult watching this thing, 16, 17 years later, there were a couple small things that bugged me, but nothing that ruined the film.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys are talking about it, there were a couple more that I missed that I'm now scratching my head going, well, that wasn't quite right.
Sure.
But none of it makes me not want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest son just turned 4, and I'm already slowly indoctrinating him into the Church of Batman. We're already starting to watch Batman stuff.
Parents
So
have done right.
this is, yes. This movie is a few years ahead of a 4-year-old. I'm not going to show it to him just yet, but so if I was going to show it to anybody, it wouldn't be a 4-year-old. Yeah, a couple more months. He turned 4 yesterday.
Just start him off on the killing joke. It'd be okay.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I'm not old enough to watch the kid. I'm sorry. I'm a born again Baptist preacher. I can't do that. I'm gonna go with classic just because though it's flawed, it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It is still very good,
awesome.
And it's one I want to show to my kid when he's just a little bit older, and it's one that I would not have a problem with revisiting on HBO Max again very soon.
Very, very cool.
And I actually watched this twice. I watched this twice for this review.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, and it didn't bother
Invested.
me.
So you predicted classic, and
So I'll take the asterisk off my classic.
there you go. And final rating is classic. Let's go to our newest member of our crew, Dale. What is your final rating for Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker?
Well, again, this is my second time ever watching,
Mm-hmm.
seeing the film. But I had to go. I still go nostalgic.
Nostalgic for final. Okay. Let's see. But Dale,
qualify
it
that?
was so good. Didn't you enjoy the guy who played the guitar?
Excuse you?
Fine, Paul. Never mind. I was just whatever. Fine. You want me to continue? I guess XO. All right. Fine.
No, talking about how good it was. You want me to go over? I have some more dislikes. You want me to?
Well, we're not to you yet, Paul. Dallas, you predicted classic with an asterisk. What was your final rating?
So I'm my final rating for Mask of the Phantasm is classic.
Oh my god!
And
Get out! Where's the eject button? XO, where's the eject button?
Right here.
Well played.
There you go.
Not again.
Okay, Dallas. But we're not talking about Mask of the Phantasm. We're talking about Return of the Joker. What is your final rating for that?
My final rating for it is after rewatching it, I'm gonna knock it down to a nostalgic. It's a high nostalgic.
Okay.
I enjoy. Again, I'm a Batman nut. I've watched probably every Batman film that I can get my hands on. I've seen all but the 1966 Batman movies in theater. So I have a lot of love for Bats, but it's definitely nostalgic. Like, it's a made for TV movie, and you can tell. The animation wasn't as sharp as it could have been for a feature film such as Mask of the Phantasm, and the plot holes that were there, the things that like the laser thing, the fact that it was the whole thing with the Joker transforming out of Home Dude's body.
Mhm.
The fact that it wasn't freaking Jason Todd.
Or Clayface.
Who's Jason Todd?
Jason Todd was
He's the second Robin.
yeah, he was the Robin that
Depending
the
on which version you're watching.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's the Robin that actually the Joker killed.
Oh, okay.
And he came back later.
Okay. Gotcha.
He got better. He walked it off after a trip through Lazarus Pit. So
It was only a flesh wound.
So
Where's the
that's
check
my
mark?
thing. Is it's the nostalgia for me today.
Nice one, Paul.
Nostalgia. All right. So wow, downgrade. All right, Paul, you had nostalgic with an asterisk. What was your final rating?
That reveal at the end absolutely killed and
Oh,
ruined this
really?
movie for me, unfortunately.
No joke.
Because I was enjoying like the animation, I was enjoying the characters, the dialogue. Because of those things, the things that I did like, I'm going to keep it at nostalgic. It's certainly, I would not recommend this to anybody except, watch out for, the whole plot. Just forget trying to figure it out. It won't make sense.
You have to turn your brain off. Is that one of these, Paul?
You even if you try to turn your brain off, no. But if you liked it, you probably will. But just watch out. There's a doozy in there.
Fair enough.
A couple of them.
So we have 3 nostalgics so far. So it probably doesn't really matter what I rated. So maybe I just want to rate.
End of show.
So just go ahead. Oh wait, no, I know. I rate. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna give my rating of tragic for Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, but for Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, I still really enjoy it. You guys bring up a valid point about Joker not looking anything like Tim Drake. That, for whatever reason, and I don't get why, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I guess it's because Tim's not being disobedient or something.
What? Tim wasn't disobedient.
Get out. No, I guess he didn't kill Batman when Joker told him to, so I guess he was a little bit. But no,
the hyena kid never talked either.
I guess maybe it's my love for Batman Beyond. I think I love Batman Beyond even more than the animated series overall.
What?
So
that's heresy.
Oh
That's
my
heresy.
gosh, guys.
Paul, we're planning a mutiny.
Wow. No mutinies here. I'll eject you all. But so I rate Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker a classic. But according to the Retro Rewind podcast,
Love you, Paul.
Wait. How
as
many
a
ratings
whole,
do you have?
5.
Okay. Because you said 3 at one point and then you talked, so I just want
3
to make sure we got
nostalgics. And then we had
everybody. Okay.
Steven's classic,
The classic
my classic.
All right. Sorry, my
1
math.
plus 2 plus 2
All
plus
right.
1.
Oh, yeah.
So according
Good
to the
point.
Retro Rewind podcast, we rate collectively Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker a disputed nostalgic film. If you remember liking it as a kid or young adult, go watch it again. You'll totally have a fun time, though you may be bothered by some of the weirdness, especially Joker's transformation. But if you've never seen this before, I don't know, one of you people that said nostalgic, what would be a better Batman animated film to go watch?
Mask of the Phantasm.
Just get over here with it right now. Why didn't we ask that? Jeez, walked right into that.
What I was about
Wow.
to say.
No,
Just so long as it's not Batman Ninja.
no more from you guys. No more from you guys.
What?
I like Batman Ninja.
I love that.
All right.
ABK's on my side, so we automatically win.
Now, you know what?
Win the Losers Club.
Let's get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX?
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Oh, feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 2000 to begin with, in the year 2000 to begin with, if it weren't for our amazing reflex capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keating, Patrick Hicks, LJ Lowry, Chris Cowan, Chris Owens, Geeks Devotions. Oh, you're right here. The Untold Podcast, Mrs. Lomax, James Kennison, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Cronenbitter, Pastor Deucin, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku, Ryan Lingle, That's Our Bobo, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten, Andy Lewis, Jeff, Little Ronan, The Dapper Man Reviews, and newest patron, Tony from Retro Days, in addition to 6 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help us keep flying for as little as $1 a month and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to help us grow via Patreon, Subscribestar, or PayPal.
This stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
And while we're thanking our supporters, we also want to give a big bat hug to our guests for coming and supporting us.
Indeed.
I don't know what a bat hug feels like. I don't want to know. But thanks for sharing your thoughts on Batman Return.
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Continue, Paul.
Okay, I'm the master interrupter. I will continue. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker tonight. We're going to go in alphabetical order. I think Dale comes before Dallas, if I can spell correctly. So, Dale, where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on that people should know about?
I don't have anything cool going on at the moment. But you can.
Nah, me neither.
You can find me mostly on the Devoted Geek Life webpage, or
Awesome.
Facebook page, rather.
Nice.
See me there.
All right. Look for Dale at Devoted Geek Life page. Cool. Dallas, how can people find you online or what you got going on?
Yeah, you can mostly find me. Just look for Geek Devotions on just about any social media platform that's out there that's viable at the moment. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Just look for Geek Devotions. You can check out our website, geekdevotions.com, where we post our devotions. And, of course, our YouTube channel, which is our main thing, where we post devotions every Friday at 4 p.m. Based off geek pop culture items designed to let people know that they are loved.
Yeah. And Steven, thanks for being our
Yes,
newest
thank you,
guest
Steven.
host.
You're welcome.
So where can people find you online, and what do you got going on that people should know about?
Well, to find more about my ministry of gospel music and preaching and ventriloquism and stuff, my website is my last name, Forrester, Forester, ministries.com. Right on the homepage, there's a video that introduces me and plays clips of the music. ForresterMinistries.com. I'm kind of more branded as Stephen Forrester Ministries. That's all over Facebook and Instagram. I keep those updated pretty regularly, and you can learn more about me. My music is all over, I think, all of the streaming platforms as Stephen Forrester or Stephen Forrester Ministries. Small correction I got to make in Apple Music. That's still as Stephen and Marie Forrester from when my wife traveled with me.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, so all over the streaming services for the music, Forrester Ministries for the website, or Stephen Forrester Ministries on social media.
Very, very cool. And that'd be the best way to like book you if the church wanted to bring you out or anything like that, or do you travel or do anything?
Yes,
like that?
all the contact info, the music info, all that,
Awesome.
the demos, all that stuff's on
Well,
there.
very cool. Awesome. And thank you again so much for coming on the show and being here. And same to you, Dallas, and same to you, Dale. Paul, nah.
Let's see. Jury's still out.
Paul's the spare part.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even like me that much.
Oh my
so,
gosh. But I like you, Paul. But no, I really, really appreciate each one of you. Dale, Dallas, and Steven, thank you so much for being here. And a hearty thanks to those of you listening for the first time. And of course, all of you who are a part of the Rad Rewinder community, you all who watch us live every week, whether we're recording this podcast or playing retro games. You're an amazing group of people helping sustain the pod. But if you're looking for ways to get involved in growing this Retro Rewind endeavor, reach out to us on social media, where we are at Retro Rewind Pod, pretty much everywhere. You could buy some of our merch. You could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser, become a monthly patron, or simply just share your favorite episode of the podcast with a friend so that more people can enjoy the content of the Retro Rewind Pod.
It'd be funny if it weren't so pathetic. No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
You've been listening to RetroRewindPodcast.com/227. I think there was a TV show called 227. Anyway, we're not reviewing that. Our review of Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, with me as your XO, which stands for Kiss and Hug, right? Executive Officer, is that what that is?
No, the executive officer.
Oh,
not
okay.
Kiss and hug officer. Oh my gosh.
PaulJPowers.com. That's me. You can find me online on all my social medias at PaulJPowers.com.
Thank you for being an amazing friend, Paul, for being on another fun voyage. I have been I have been and continue to be the captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz. Find me on Twitter at FXRetro_, especially if you need pixel art work commissioned.
And we are honored to announce we are part of the Christian Geek Central network at ChristianGeekCentral.com, because we never announced that before. So this is the first time that you're hearing this, and if you have, I mean, if you've heard this before, you're probably a time traveler like us. Anyway, Captain, we are on final approach to the base. Something about Salvo Authority has been jammed. Oh, sorry, it's been granted.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a relief.
Yeah.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful now than when you first hit play. And I really mean that. I pray pretty much every time before this that you guys are more joyful now at the end of this than you were at the beginning. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for Airplane! Our next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
We're going on an airplane?
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
Adios, Brucey. I guess I should salute you as a worthy adversary and all that, but the truth is, I really did hate your guts.